Welcome to my YouTube channel and to my train room. For this week's project I'm going to add a couple of new flat cars to my freight car roster. These kits are from a manufacturer whose products I have used before, but I've never assembled one of their freight cars until now. So anyway, let's move over to the workbench and get started. I decided I wanted some more flat cars on my railroad, and I found this twin pack. It's from Central Valley. Makes two flat cars. It does not contain trucks, couplers or decals, and it was really inexpensive. So I'm going to give it a try and see if they're any good. The prototype is a Northern Pacific 1930s design, so perfectly suitable for my early 40s layout. I won't be decaling them for the Northern Pacific, I'll be putting my own road name on them. So let's see what we've got inside. Okay, so inside we've got 3 sprues. There are 2 floor kits and one here with 2 sets of side sills and other details. And there's a bag of pre-formed stirrups, steps. It looks like there's also brake staffs in there as well. It has a single page of written instructions and a nice big exploded drawing. So I'm just going to familiarize myself with all the parts and start working. Well, I've built up one of the flat car bodies. There were a few things that I didn't like about it, but there was a lot of things that I do. I like the deep fish belly sides that will give me plenty of room to hide lead weights, because at the moment the car is as light as a feather. I didn't put all the side gussets on. I didn't think it's really necessary. I think the sides will stay fairly flat without them. I also didn't put the rest of the brake gear on because it'll be impossible to see it anyway. I don't know why they had to supply the 2 end planks of the deck as separate castings. It meant that there was no positive location for the sides. I had to just guess it by eye, but I think I got it accurate enough. Also, the corner stirrups had to be placed by eye. There was no positive location for that. And the stake pockets, again, it had the shallowest of indentations in the side, not really enough to be able to fill when it goes in. Anyway, with this prototype there's only 6 stake pockets per side. There's big gaps between them. So what I'm thinking of doing is adding additional stake pockets from the other kit and then building up the second car using Tichy stake pockets. It'll represent a different batch. Well, here's my Tichy stake pockets. I've made a template to get them all the right distance apart. So I halve the gaps. They're 13mm exactly. So far I've broken 1 and lost 2. Anyway, I'm sure you don't need to watch me attach all 20 stake pockets, so I'll turn the camera off and I'll get back to you momentarily. Well, here's the second flat car body, now at the same state as the first one. Still required is couplers, trucks and paint. I'm going to get them painted next before I mess around with the trucks and the couplers. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Well, I've been outside and sprayed the decks with a light grey primer. I was going to use white, but then I figured I'm going to have to get the grey stain on it anyway, so maybe this will save a step. I've got this wood coloured paint. Need to shake it up a bit, and then I'm going to put a thin coat on top of the grey, water it down a little bit and have a little bit show through. I don't want to put it on with such a big brush. You may notice that I haven't bothered spraying the bottom. Once the deck is complete, I will mask it off and then turn the car upside down and spray the rest. I think I'm going to need a second application of paint. I'll let this soak in for a few minutes and then I'll come back and hit it again. I don't mind a little bit of the grey showing through because I'm going to weather it heavily anyway. I've let the wood colour paint go dry. Next thing I need to do is put a very thin black wash to bring out the details on it. I like the way this casting has the planking a little uneven. It gives it a little bit of character. So anyway, there is way more paint than I need. I want the wash to be very, very thin. I think I need to leave the car on its side so it all runs off. No, I don't. Maybe on its end. Maybe I've just got to leave it flat. Yes, I'll leave it flat. After all, they are flat cars. So I'm just going to let the wash dry and I'll be right back. Well, I've masked off the decks and sprayed the rest of it red oxide. The prototype cars were painted black by the Northern Pacific, but I'm arguing that my road is going to be painting them red. The most difficult part to mask was the edge of the deck. Eventually I found the easiest way to do it was to do it as a separate process. Start by masking the upper surface of the deck and then put little strips down the sides. Right, with all the masking gone, it's time to touch up any areas that are supposed to be black and then see about the trucks and the couplers. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Well, I've installed my Tichy trucks and Katie number 5 couplers on each car and weighed them. They weigh less than half an ounce, so that means I've got to get about 3.5 ounces of lead into each car. So that's that much. I don't know if I'm going to manage it. So these would be good candidates for metal wheel sets. That will add a little bit of weight. Anyway, what I'm going to try to do is get as much in against the floor as I can, and then put some bigger pieces over the top of the center sill. It will completely cover the brake gear, but that's okay. It's going to be impossible to see it anyway. So let me get on with that, and I'll be right back. And the weights. I had to cut away part of the center sill to give me enough space in there to get them up to the regulation weight. Anyway, what I've got to do now is pick out some little details in black. The stirrup steps and the brake staff. The coupler boxes, because those need to be black and not red. Okay, that's all the details picked out. If I had custom decals, I would get those installed now and then finish the weathering, but that's just going to have to wait. So that, I guess, wraps up that project for now. Next thing I need is a suitable load. Well, overall, I think I like these Central Valley flat cars. They're a valuable addition to the fleet, and they give a little bit of variety, being different from any other car that I have. With the prototype being of welded construction, the side panels look a little bit bland compared to those of riveted construction. So I don't know whether I'm going to buy any more in the future. I might stick with the Athearn flat cars. Certainly the price is right. I don't remember what I paid for them, but it was a few dollars for two, and the Tichy trucks are relatively inexpensive as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope it was useful to you, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye for now.